Well, welcome back, my friends, to another rousing rendition of Choir Boys Cutlery. Today, we're doing the Spartan Harsey Difensa. Now, before we get too far in, guys, 22 veterans a day in this country take their own lives. Vets, I love you. You have a place here. We back the blue over here. We support Leo. How do you do that, Scab? Well, we don't break the damn law. And finally, if you are an addict, never quit quitting. Well, this is hands down my favorite Spartan knife. I've got to say that up front. Let me give you a few specs. The overall length of this blade is 11 5/8. It's 6 1/4 inch blade, 3/16 inch thick. It's got a Rockwell hardness of 59 to 60. Now, if it's 11 5/8 overall with a 6 1/4 inch blade length, then it's a 5.375 handle. I adore the handle. It's got a nice little choil there. It contours very, very well to my hand. The handle scales are, I believe it's 3D micarta or maybe canvas micarta. They're just, the beauty to me of this knife is in the simplicity. It doesn't have a lot of bells and whistles. It's got some nice jimping on the back. It's got a lanyard hole. The sheath is MOLLE compatible Kydex that's very, very well done. Mine has a tech lock on it, or I'm using Kirk's. His has a tech lock on it. I got to make sure I get it right. He'll kill me. Now, here's a little, let me give you just a little backdrop here. The blade style is spear point, and it does have a tapered, the spine comes down to a tapered point, which makes it really, really nice when stabbing. The knife was commissioned by Canadian Special Forces. They went to Spartan, commissioned the knife. Spartan brought in Bill Harsey. Now, the knife is named after a famous battle, the Battle for Monte la Difensa in World War II. It was a battle fought between the combined forces of the Canadians and the Americans, believe the Devil's Brigade, and Nazi forces. The Allies won, and in honor of that, Spartan named this knife the Difensa. Now, on the website, it says it was made for Canadian Special Forces, so yes, it's a combat knife. It also said it's a utility knife made for them to use in the backwoods of Canada or in your backyard, wherever you need to be special opting at. Now, why do you say that? Because inevitably, somebody will say, well, Scab, it's a fighter. I don't know what we're missing here, guys. I can't stab anybody or fight anybody with it. So we're going to have to do some camping type stuff, some woodwork. I know what the blade's made for. Thank you. Let me go ahead and head that off at the pass. There's a good look at the sheath, Kydex sheath. They do a really nice job. Now, the coating on the knife, I've done some, they call it Sparta coat. Now, I believe it's PVD coated or Cerakote, something like that. Okay, so it's got a very, very, very solid coating. Someone asked me on Instagram, their knife was just peeling for no reason, and what should they do? If you haven't used the knife, get a hold of Spartan. I'm not going to sit here and pretend to be really, really well versed on Spartan. I'm not. I know that they were founded by Mark Carey and Curtis Levetto, and I believe those guys, well, I'm pretty sure those guys are both ex-SF. They set their base up, their shop up, well, I guess it is a base. They set their shop up right outside of Fort Bragg, North Carolina, in an old mule barn. Why do I say that? These guys are men of integrity. So if there's a coating failure on your knife, or if you've got something like that going on, get a hold of them. They understand that their knives are costly. I've seen an interview with them, and that's why they've partnered with K-Bar to make a silver lineup to make things a little more affordable, still made in the USA. And they partner with some of our foreign allies to come up with yet another line of Spartan knives or Spartan design knives so that we all can enjoy them. So I've said all that to say, if you have an issue, guys, go to them. Say, hey, I bought this knife. The coating's failing. I haven't done anything with it. I guarantee you they'll make it right. Now, if you're new to my channel, that foggy effect there, I guess I walked outside and it's 1,000 degrees, 1 in Florida, and 2, it's 200% humidity. I mention it all the time. Swamp ass is rampant, so I apologize for the camera fogging up there. I did want to mention this. If you are new to the channel, I try to set my videos up so that you can turn off the narration, turn off the noise, and just watch the knife work. That's the main reason I do the testing the way I do the testing, and I try to have some uniform tests. Now, is this scientific? No. Is it fun? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, it's a blast. If it wasn't, I wouldn't do it. So, having said all that, the other thing I'm going to tell you if you're new is this. I am a novice at best. I know that it's trendy to use the term bushcrafting. Bushcrafting, in my opinion, is camping, and I'm not a big camper. So, when I'm doing this stuff, guys, I'm a novice. So if the knife works really well for a novice, imagine what it'll do for you. That's the way I always look at it. Now, we do some stabbing, we do some chopping, and we do some slicing. And then we do some more stabbing, some more chopping, and some more slicing. We did this knife, I reviewed this knife, I think 6-7 months ago. Since that time, Kirk's carried it, and I wanted to come back to it because here's the thing. We can open a box and we can ooh and ah at how good looking the knife is. And this is a great looking knife. I love the ergonomics of this knife. It's made, like I said, the beauty's in the simplicity. There's not a lot of stuff you don't need on it. It's got a nice finger choil there at the bottom of the blade. The handle is amazing. It fits my hand perfectly. It locks my hand in. I love the handle. And I've said this often, at near 50 with busted up hands, man, the handle's where it's at. Now, I did a little bit of light batoning, nothing heavy, nothing crazy. So I'm not going to pretend it is. That is a big ass baton. But I just wanted to use the knife. Let's see how it looks 8 months down the road. Now, on a sharpness scale, I'd say we're at a 6 or 7. All I did to the knife when I got it from Kirk was strop it up really well. I used 2 or 3 different strops, and the edge is superb. I will say that. The edge has held up very, very well, but it's got a lot of use on it. So when you're seeing some of these tests, I'm not going to sit here and go, oh, it's razor sharp. It is very sharp. It's about a 6 or a 7, but it's not just hair-popping laser beam sharp like it was out of the box, okay? It's important that you know that and know where we're coming from when we're doing these tests. Now, here I'm just kind of messing around. I wanted to use the edge a lot. That's why you seen up front, we cut the tire. We're going to go back to the tire, okay? I've filmed this, I think, over 2 or 3 days, something like that. But I wanted to make sure I got a lot of cutting in, a lot of slicing in, a lot of use. I wanted to make sure I did a lot of that. Now, in the upper left-hand corner, guys, is where I kind of stick some sidebar stuff. And this is kind of what I was talking about. In the upper left-hand corner, you see me cutting that water hose. I had to pull a little bit. But in all fairness, I had cut the tire of Doom 3 or 4 times. Now, in the main picture frame here, we're cutting some of that manila rope, which I hate. It slices very, very easy. I was even able to chop it. So the edge is still right there. I can't stress that enough. The edge is great. And I'm telling y'all, after 8 or 9 months and just stropping it, just maintaining it for it to keep its sharpness, that speaks volumes to the heat treat. Now, here's the deal. People gonna say, oh, that knife struggled. Look at how I'm cutting it. I didn't want to lay this tire down, jab the knife in it, and cut it normally. I did that up front. It performed exceedingly well. So, we're out of position. Everybody knows old Scab's working on getting in shape. I mean, I'm built like a Greek god there, but I'm still got a lot of ways to go. You know what I'm saying? I am looking at the camera. I do that to make sure it's on, guys, not to make sure that I'm still looking good there. But, back to the point. I wanted to be out of position. How does the knife function? Is it comfortable? Does it work? Because when you get in an extreme situation, you know, it's not going to be perfect. Now, I can't imagine the extreme situation where you'd have to cut somebody's tire out. But hell, you never know around here. Now, watch right here. This part I did want to show too. We're going to finish the drill. But we're in position and we're comfortable. Look at that. It just kind of saws right through it, man. No problem. I do want to stress, though, I do want to stress, the knife performed like it was supposed to perform when I was out of position. Again, novice at best, leaning over tailgate, out of position. The knife held up brilliantly. No hot spots, none. I can't say enough about the handle or this tip. Now, I get it's a plastic bottle, guy. I understand that. I'm the one cutting it up. But the knife just sails through. I love the spear point. I love this design. I've never seen a Bill Harsey design I didn't love. And I messaged him. I'm sure he was exceedingly just ecstatic about that. But I said, Mr. Bill, if you could give me one word about the Difensa, what would it be? And he said, well, son, if I can use two. And I said, man, use all of them you want. You're Bill Harsey. Use the dictionary. I was just excited he texted me back. I messaged Megan 3 or 4 times. She got tired of hearing it, but that's neither here nor there. Here's what he said about this knife. It's tough enough. And I thought, okay. For Bill Harsey to say this knife is tough enough speaks volumes. What does that mean? It means it's tough enough to handle whatever you throw at it, whatever you can do to it. I do not believe in abusing knives. I really don't. I believe in showing you the functionality of the knife to the best of my ability, not the knives. Because like I said, if there's any shortcomings, especially with this knife, it's on me. You say, Scab, you sure are hyping it? I'm not hyping the knife, guys. There's just certain knives that I have a connection with. This is way high up there on the list. I just love the design. Now here's a little test we just added. Just popping some zip ties. You never know when you're going to have to do that. You know, trying to get away or something. I don't know. Just go with me. I mean, y'all, I got 700 and something videos, guys. I got to come up with something. But I do like this test. Again, knife slides in, pops them, no problem. Now, after all the cutting, the chopping, after everything we've done, this knife does what it's designed to do. It slices. Look at that. Now, I'm putting a little bit of pressure on it because this is a hackberry tree and it's super duper hard. But the knife had no problem. I could stand out there and do that all day. No hot spots on the handle. No hot spots on the blade. The jimping is very comfortable. Overall, freaking outstanding knife. And again, I got to thank Kirk Weiss for letting me use it. Kirk's got 8 or 9 Spartans, and I absolutely love them. Here we're just slamming down on this board a little bit. Again, testing the edge some. 0 edge damage, no rolls, nothing. Nothing. After 8 or 9 months of use, this knife still a go-to knife. Well, guys, we've got about 30 or 40 seconds left. Listen, I love y'all. God knows I do. God bless y'all. I hope he does. We got some good stuff coming up this week. I hope you'll stick with us. Thank you so much for all the support. I love y'all very, very much. Listen, my guy Mikey says it best. He says, Scab, never give up, never surrender, and everything will be okay. And Mikey's true. I'm Scab. You're not. This is the Spartan Harsey Difensa, and we're gone, son. Love y'all.